Royal farewell, Spain cries as Princess Leonor marries her Danish prince. The palace gates are open. The bells of Madrid are silent. And Spain is crying, because today, their princess, their future queen, walks away, into another kingdom. But wait, was this truly a farewell? Or the beginning of a royal reckoning that no one saw coming? For years, Princess Leonor of Spain had carried the weight of a nation on her shoulders. Born into duty, raised under scrutiny, every smile, every bow, every word, measured and watched by millions. She was Spain's golden girl, the image of grace, discipline, and destiny. But love, as always, writes its own script. It began quietly, far from the headlines. A meeting between two young royals, Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark. Two heirs to two thrones, brought together not by politics, but by a whisper of fate. No one noticed the sparks at first. Two polite smiles exchanged during a diplomatic gala in Copenhagen. Two cautious glances that lingered longer than they should have. But over time, what began as duty blossomed into something far more powerful. They wrote letters in secret, handwritten, sealed with wax and affection. When the world slept, their phones lit up with messages filled with dreams, fears, and forbidden hope. Christian admired Leonor's calm strength, the way she carried Spain's crown in her heart. Never flinching under pressure. Leonor, in turn, saw in Christian a freedom she'd never known. A boy who could laugh without worrying about cameras. A prince who saw her, not her title. Their love grew in silence. And silence, in the royal world, is sacred. When the news finally broke, that the Princess of Asturias, heir to the Spanish throne, was to marry the Danish prince, Spain froze. It wasn't scandal, it was heartbreak. Because to many, Leonor wasn't just a princess. She was a symbol of Spain's future, a bridge between tradition and modernity. A young queen-to-be who had restored pride in a monarchy once shaken by controversy. And now, she was leaving. In the days leading up to the wedding, Madrid became a city of mixed emotions. Flags waved in joy, but eyes glistened with tears. From the old plazas of Leon to the sunlit coast of Majorca. People whispered the same words. She's ours, but she belongs to him now. Even her mother, Queen Letizia, tried to hide her trembling voice during the farewell ceremony. The queen, once a journalist, once a symbol of strength, was now simply a mother letting her daughter go. Her father, King Felipe VI, stood tall as ever. But as Leonor approached him in her wedding gown, the proud king's eyes gave away what no words could express. In that moment, Spain saw not a monarch, but a father. A man whose little girl had grown too quickly. The royal wedding itself was a masterpiece of elegance and emotion. Copenhagen's cathedral, dressed in white tulips and red roses, echoed with centuries of royal history. Danish and Spanish flags fluttered side by side. As choirs sang in both languages, two nations united through love. Leonor walked down the aisle wearing a gown that paid homage to both her heritage and her new home. Spanish silk, Danish lace. A delicate fusion of two worlds stitched together by destiny. Every step echoed with meaning. Each stride, a farewell. As she reached Christian at the altar, he turned, eyes glistening, not as a prince, but as a man deeply in love. He took her hand, and whispered, "For you, I would give up the crown." And yet, he didn't have to. Because in that sacred union, both crowns grew stronger. Some within Spain's royal circle questioned the timing. "She's too young," they whispered. "She's the future queen, she shouldn't marry abroad." Others feared the symbolism. Would Spain's heir living part-time in Denmark divide the loyalty of her people? Would she be seen as abandoning her duty? Even within the Danish court, murmurs spread. Will she ever truly belong here? But Leonor, always poised, always calm, responded with quiet conviction. "I was born to serve my country," she said. "But I was also born to live my life. And love is not treason." Those words silenced her critics. They reminded the world that even royals, especially royals, are human. As the ceremony ended and the couple stepped outside the cathedral, a wave of emotion swept through the crowd. Thousands gathered outside, waving Spanish and Danish flags. Tears fell freely. Cheers echoed across two kingdoms. Spain cried, not from loss, but from love. Because in Leonor's departure, they saw her strength. Because in her marriage, they saw the future of Europe's monarchy, a future built not on power, but partnership. That evening, at the royal reception, Leonor delivered a speech that will be remembered for generations. She spoke not as a bride, nor as a princess, but as a daughter of Spain, a bridge between nations. To my people, she said, you gave me more than a crown. You gave me purpose, courage, and love. Today I walk into another kingdom, but Spain will forever be the kingdom of my heart. Her words brought even the most stoic dignitaries to tears. Queen Margrethe of Denmark nodded with pride. King Felipe raised his glass in silent blessing. And Queen Letizia wept, not as a monarch, but as a mother whose daughter had become a woman. In the days that followed, headlines across the world told the same story. A royal farewell, Spain's farewell, Europe's love story. But beyond the headlines, something deeper took root. Leonor's marriage wasn't the end of her Spanish destiny. It was its evolution. She began working on cultural exchanges between Spain and Denmark, uniting young leaders from both countries. She pledged to continue representing Spain at international events, and even announced a scholarship foundation for students from both nations. The princess had left her homeland, but not her people. Years from now, when historians look back on this day, they won't just see a royal wedding. They'll see a turning point. The moment a future queen redefined what it means to love, to serve, and to belong. Because Leonor didn't just marry a prince. She married the idea that love can strengthen nations. That duty and desire can coexist. That a crown can shine brighter when shared. And as the sun set that evening over the Danish palace balcony, Leonor looked out across the horizon, her hand in Christian's, her eyes filled with both peace and longing. Somewhere far away, bells rang in Madrid. Spain cried once more, not out of sorrow, but out of pride, because their princess had become so much more. This was not just a royal wedding. It was a royal farewell. A love story that made the world believe again, that even in the halls of power, the heart still reigns supreme.